So I found what might potentially be a solution to replacing the covering on the striker pins on Fords. Just get a piece of tubing like this, thread it into here, start it threading until it backs all the way up to the back of that, and then just trim it down. So you'll need something to probably hold it with. And so another thing too, if you can't get it on there, you can heat it up. You kind of smack it on there with some Vaseline. That's what I've ended up doing on this one. So just got to get it on the pin. So once you get it to that point, just take a knife and then cut it, get it separated, and then you can grip this with a pair of pliers and just back the other piece off rather than trying to cut against the threads. That would be my recommendation. So just hold it like this and just back it out. I can literally hold this with my foot and go here, and it was coming out. Let's see. It doesn't take much. And then this should last a little bit longer than going and getting another one of these from the junkyard. Then you can always get more tubing. I don't know what this stuff is, 5/8. So we're gonna go put it in the door and I'll be back. All right, so now it's in the door. You just need to tighten it up, get it where it needs to be. And hopefully your door will close better. Because where'd it go? These pieces, when they break, your door's not gonna close right. Let's see if it does. Yeah, at least latches without going slam. Look at that. Wow. This poor truck, the paint's all peeling on it. But I think somebody lined up the fender. Probably they did it wrong. But that's how you can do poor man's fix to the striker pin. I don't know how long this will last. So if it doesn't last very long, then maybe the other stuff's better. I mean, see a small mark on it, but I don't have to lift up on my door to shut it. So my door might not be completely where I want it to be. So if I maybe adjust the pin, I can get it to suck in a little bit more. All right, so I moved it back a little bit. Let's see what happens now. Okay, that's a little bit tighter. This door could be bent too, but we can see we're actually in too far there, and I don't know, it looks okay. It's just that the door, these doors are tricky because the way they close, like you can see here, they seem to hang, and also they always break right here. This truck's been welded. The frame will break right there, which is just part of the body. It's not the frame. The frame's underneath here. But this thing's got this gap here, and I don't know what happened to this. I actually think it's probably from people just stepping on it, or this thing pulling on it. But I mean, it's pretty good right here. But I think you want it to be up a little bit higher. So we could try and adjust it one more time. And you just loosen it just ever so slightly usually. And just kind of wiggle it where you want it maybe. Now we can look here, we see the mark from previous. We know that we're not anywhere near it. So let's just see. I always try and shut it lightly before I slam it. It's still, so I think maybe on this particular truck I need to tilt my hinges on the bottom. This is really a pain. If you don't have it right, then you're going to make noise when you go down the road, because you're going to have issues. So let me see here. Get in here and look and see. This is another thing that happens too on these Fords. People lift themselves up by the steering wheel. I have the bearings to do it, but I don't drive this truck anymore. So we look here, you get a good idea of how close is it shutting. So to me, I think it's probably fine. Might even be too much. The thing is, I can shut it when I'm getting in it. Okay, so the main part is we need to seal it up over here. So, but you got to be careful with these, because if you hit it in the wrong spot, you'll just damage the door, and then it's bad news. So it's actually probably pretty good. So I think for now we're just going to leave this one like that. So, you know, if you're having trouble with it, just fiddle with it. And also I suggest you take a jack and put a block of wood like this and get it underneath the door and put some pressure on the door when you adjust the hinges, so you're not fighting the weight of the door. And replace your pins. These have all been replaced at one point in time. I guess if you have a serious problem, you could get into the door here, and back behind there are some bolts. We'll have to remove the fender to get to it, unless you're really, really good. So, yeah, I'm not sure. You know, you kind of can look at, you know, the previous marks, like if you've been replacing your hinges and stuff, and get a kind of a better idea. But I mean, this will work for now. So I think for me, I'm going to back mine out a little bit. So I ribbed it a little bit closer to that mark. Not much, but let's just see what happens. Okay. So that pretty much just shuts. And we're pretty close up against the thing. Yeah, that should be good. But yeah, we need to, if we tilt the bottom out, also this will come in a little more even. But it'll be good enough for now.